Yes. So you're comfortable?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. Okay, so yes. So it would just be for you to listen to how wonderful you are, which is all I'm really doing when I'm in session. Secret out of the bag. I'm just listening to all the things that I have come through in realms and worlds inside myself, in lives past and parallel. When I am listening to kin talk about where they are in their lives, and that's the mirror work that I'm doing. And I'm reminding you, us, me, you, I, us, I, and I, the fluid, interchangeable intercoursing of self, capital S, that we are engaging in. Um, I'm just there to constantly mind and remind, as in take care of and take care of again and again, as many times as it needs. You know, we are with the time that and the energy that life gives and takes, and things take the time they take, and things give the things they give. And we being life give and take all that we need to give and take in that way. So I'm I'm role switching with you now. So you will be the Xylo listening in that way, and I will be the siren in that way. And yes, I'm literally just gonna like read off all of my notes and explain them to you, which is how I usually do feedback notes with kin, well for kin, but I do it with you all not there. And I'll be doing it with you there. So this is a new experience for me as well. So I'm very excited, and I'm excited to share it with people in the moment. So the first thing I have is just learning the idea of what you said. You said what is it I said? Empowering you to do what I need you to teach me. So what I ended up doing is empowering you to do what one day I would need you to teach me. That makes sense?
Yes, absolutely.
First sacred dialogue session, I realized in that moment when I looked at you and you said all what you were going through, and I said in my heart, I said, she needs me? Like, why does she need me? Like to me, she's doing so phenomenally. Why does she need me? And of course, no question is rhetorical. So I looked deeper. I found out in myself why she needed me and what I felt I could do for her. And wow, who knew? We knew that that's the soul pact. It was like, if you just give me some leverage within myself here to explore my sensual power and expression, I'm gonna teach the whole world to make money. I'm gonna teach the whole world abundance if you would just hold space for me for this moment, from one Xylo to another. And so all along, I was empowering you to do what I would one day need you to teach me to do, so that I could teach other people to do, so that we could teach other people to do and support, most importantly, and amplify most explicitly. So thank you, number one.
You're very welcome.
And I wrote down, wow, what perfect symbiosis, that I would need you and you would need me, and I would need you to need me, so that I could need you one day in this way. That we would demonstrate needing in a good way, in a positive way, not in any kind of negative, oppressive, dependent, parasitic, leeching kind of way, sucking anybody dry, any no depletion. Just, I'm comfortable to need you. You're something I need in my life, and I'm something you need in your life. And when needs are in sync and fulfillment is in sync, have you seen us make love? Not yet.
I've heard us make love on the podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Seen
the answer is yes. It was a question for those out there. Have you seen us make love? The answer is yes.
Yeah, go to Xylo's YouTube.
Exactly. Okay, so then I have facing and needing. Wow. Facing the needing and making love to it. That's what I have next. Of all things that, like, literally, like, I don't even have to read this, right? I just said it. but I want to read it, obviously. I want to give it, I want to give everything its space. And I want to really I want to breathe into this conversation. I want it to go as slowly as needed, as deliberately. I want to lick every word and make love to your power and give thanks to your power, is what I'm specifically saying. So I'm going to read it again. So even if I said it, facing the needing and making love to it. So when your body and your mind and your soul shows you need something, way back then you were like, you know what, I need her, I need that, because I am that, and I want that, and I want to want that, and I want to be comfortable. I know I have my sensuality, but I want to be so wildly comfortable in it. And I feel like she can help me, and I need that support. So I'm going to go allow myself some Xylo in my life. And I needed that. Did I ever tell you that I had about 2 sessions where nobody attended my workshops before you first came? You were the first person who ever actually stepped in the door. And I was paying for the place, and I would hold the session, I would teach, I would talk in the workshop, I would workshop myself, I would secret dialogue myself, I would hold the conversation, I would hold the channeling in the room. And that was me preparing, nursing, right? That was me nesting. I was preparing the space, the womb space for you. I had held at least 2 or 3 sessions there, and nobody came. And I paid for the place and kept holding the session. And one day you walked in.
Wow.
And you were the first person who walked in.
That means so, so much to me.
So when I talk about the power of one, it is not a joke. It is a fractal exponential thing. And when I told you I came off the ledge for you, and I want to give thanks to Danny Augustine Urso, who did capoeira classes there, because that is how I started. That's how I ended up upon the place. And he told me he just rents it and try and holds the workshops, and people just come if they want to or they don't. And I wasn't making a lot of money at the time, but I could afford to rent the place. And I went and I talked to the people, and they told me what they would charge me. And I said, well, so be it. I will give it a try. And I held sessions there, and people didn't come. And I kept holding the sessions. I kept holding the space. And then one day she walked through the door, or swam.
I floated through the door. I've told you the story of how I ended up there that first time, right? I floated in. I literally, up until the point I got off the bus at Rodney Heights, I was not entirely sure that I was going to, and I was like, you know what, stop, because I was late. I came halfway through the session. I was like, should I still go? And I'm like, you know what, Zan, you've been late to a lot of things before. Like, just get up and just show up. So I got off the bus, and I just literally floated my way straight into there. And I had no information on the cost. You probably remember, I had no idea I wasn't even sure what the sessions were about. It was a friend of mine who was just like, there's something going on at the aquatic center tonight. Like, I feel like it's kind of your vibe and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, really? Okay, let me go to that. And yeah, but I had been aware of you for quite a while before that. As in the context of you as a performer and an artist. And that was my first experience of you in Sacred Dialogue.
Well, it was the first Sacred Dialogue.
Yes. Wow. So I was the first. I popped to your Sacred Dialogue cherry.
Yeah, you were my first. I had been doing counseling work, therapy work. I'd been doing what I call Xylogue. So it was the dialogue of Xylo and teaching different things. But the workshop that began Sacred Dialogue work was that workshop. And you were my first. And you were my first after no one had been coming for a while. And I didn't have much money, and I was still there renting the place and just holding the space and like, okay, God, like, I'm going to trust this. okay, life, okay, self. Like you tell me I have the VAP, I feel in the thing, the inclination to be there. So I go just be there and hold energetic space in the ley lines. I'm going to just be there and hold the energy and charge the space. It's the aquatic center. That's water. I'm going to just trust the vibes and be present. I'm going to be still and know that I am all. And I'm gonna wait for her to come to me. I'm gonna stay in my super energy in the space and I'm gonna draw her in. Well, whoever, it doesn't have to be her. I'm gonna draw them in.
It had to be me, honestly. Because even while I did not know exactly what was happening there were certain keywords that stuck out to me. When my friend told me about it, she told me there was the elements of masculine, feminine, and androgyny. And I was just like, okay, I'm in. Like, I'm down to explore that. But when I showed up, it was even more than that, because I feel like that day I came, I got a container, I got an oracle, I got a big sister, I got so many things, and it was just like I felt like I had a notebook. Is it the notebook I have on the table out there? But I had a notebook that day. I think that is the notebook on the table that it's just sitting, is the only notebook on the table in my office out there in the orange room. And I was just a little like, okay, you know what? Maybe I could tell her about this. And I'm like, I felt like I was just coming with secrets, like, oh, can I tell you something about myself? Like, I am XYZ. And people say that I'm XYZ. And I'm like, let me see how she reacts to this. And you were just like, oh, really? That's great. Like, that's cool. That's awesome. And I'm like, really? I'm taking notes like, this is okay. That is okay. And since then, I've opened up to you about so much more. It's like, that's how you've helped me to blossom, just petal by petal. I'm showing you, like, is this okay? Yes, and that is, and then I got to the point where I'm just like, okay, Zan, like, everything is okay, like, and yeah.
All systems go on your expression, my love, my life, my lover, my sister, my kin, myself, my one. Yes, my first and most powerful to date, based on you have given me the next generation, and I will always hold you for that. You all think life easy? That sounds like, we know it's easy. Come round, let us show you. So you see why we couldn't do this on the last, because I didn't want to take away the honoring of the space. When I was watching you teach me and teach other people, and the lives you have already changed, whether they come to you for consultation and they become solid clients of you or not, the energetic space you put out, number one, and two, the people who I know have seen it so far, the worlds that you have built in them, just the things you validated for them, just because the sessions I have had with people because of it so far, whether they ever choose to come to you, because people take the time they take, as you know. You've taken the time you've taken, and I too. So we continue to hold space, and we know they'll come to us when it's the time. And
for sure.
the song, Joan Armatrading, Down to Zero, that's a good song to listen to if you're listening to the podcast, and let people come to your door. Let everything spin, let people mature in themselves and let them come to your door. And stay wide open and pulsating for what you want, what you love, and what you love to need. So all of that long thing was just me saying, facing the needing and making love to it. I needed to do this work, and I trusted it, and I enjoyed it, and I made love to the need to do this work, as you made love to your need of me. And as we spoke yesterday of the people that have come to need you, and the iron sharpen iron that's happening with the people who are allowing themselves to need you, as we just spoke of before this call, and the new client that you've just gotten booked, and all of that, right? So the levels of not ever dishonoring your body when you need something and feeling ashamed that you need something. Your body stays tugging at you like a little baby, saying, I need this, I'm hungry, I want this. And make love to the trust that your body is still telling you what it needs. Yeah? All right. So
Yeah.
we went to create. So then we went into the actual the beginning of the lessons that you were teaching. So what I appreciated, you said you created accounts online for online work sites long before that you had already had those. So I thought that was important as showing you how prepared you were. You started perusing the sites, and I said, okay, that's good for me to do. Like just create profiles for myself on Upwork and Guru and all of those kinds of spaces for online work specifically. We're moving back into the bulk of the work, right? Then I also noted that it's very important for people to create accounts where they can receive money. Like as an artist and as an entrepreneur, if I wanted to give you money, do you have an account that you can receive that money in? And to be very creative about that. So do you have a bank account, or do you have a person that you trust that can receive money for you? Do you have a barter arrangement set up? And if you want me to talk about that more, if you're listening, definitely contact me separately, because I that's a big part of my work, is creating creative ways for receiving money, power, providence. So I'll give a small example. There's a client who has recently paid me $500 a year into doing work. First time they've ever paid me, right? And the way they paid me, because of the way PayPal works at home and how challenging it is to do the person paid a phone bill for me, for my mom, and my mom transferred the money to me.
Wow.
And that is the way I have worked with money my whole life.
Wow.
Magical, powerful skills for creating accounts for receiving money. So I just want to throw that out, that I'm definitely a consultant on that, of just creating ways for receiving money, and third party barter ways for receiving money. And I am a master of doing that. If there's a way and you need to find out how to create a way to receive the money or the resource or the thing, I'll find a way to get a farmer to give that person bananas, which is the equivalent of $50. They will take that $50 and we put it in the Bitcoin, and we take the Bitcoin and we turn it into cash, and we take the cash we turn it into the dentist cleaning appointment. And that's how you get the dentist cleaning appointment.
I I want to add to that, because the client who reached out to me today, and actually I've been feeling called to tell people in general about this, because during the lockdown in St. Lucia, it was very difficult for people to receive money, to transfer money, and all of these things. And I kept telling him that I wanted him to open a First Caribbean account to use First Pay with his First Caribbean customers, where they can simply put his phone number into the app and transfer money instantly, and he can check in his app for when he's received it. There are also lots of other ways to do it, which I'm sure you are aware of some that you can share. But that is one that has been used on my watch as well, and I'll explain to you how that one happened too, because the one of the accounts that I was using, an online account to receive money from one of my inflows of cash, I always had to go to the ATM to withdraw money, like that account, because it was US, well, it was European based, but it was a US account, and it was not easy for me to just transfer money to people here. So I went to do my eyebrows, and they weren't taking cards. So I just texted somebody and asked her to transfer the money through First Pay to the person who was doing my eyebrows. And then I gave her for that. So that I love that you mentioned that whole cycle of the money going through the network that way.
Master of washing and laundering our good money.
Yeah.
So if you need support and a way of trying to create a system for that, or just tapping into your capable power, your capacity and your capability to do that, shout out Vision 79. That's why I first did that was my first podcast with him on his channel, teaching about capacity and capability. If you need me to speak some life into you so you can find a way to create third-party barter situations for you to create a line of credits and money and abundance, reach out to your girl. I'm out here on this rock. Okay, so we're moving on. What else do I have here? Foundation of interest and sales. This is home improvement. Oh yes. I just was saying, I was noting that on the call you were speaking about that you have a foundation in sales, right? But I was saying that your interest was in sales and you ended up in home improvement. And I was just like making that distinction for people who think that they, like, somebody who feel like, I don't know anything about home improvement, but it wasn't about home improvement, it was about sales. And as we went deeper into you, we found out that it was even not even about sales, it was about connections, that you had a
Yeah.
passion for connections, you had an interest in connections. And so it's just it was just I mean, that's obviously what I do, secret dialogue, to help people find what is their essential essence in the space of what they're doing. Thank you so much. Yes, so that I was just noting that. And then I noted that you said that there's an online networking of human resources as colleagues, like that you all refer each other. And I thought that was very powerful, that you were able to tap into that network. So this is just me saying some of the things I'm learning from what you said. Like you held a class and I'm just giving you feedback to what I learned that you were also teaching in that moment. So I really appreciated you speaking of that. And that's why I hold all of you as kin. I'm holding you up to you, to the mirror, up to yourselves, for you all to see. You all honor me for sacred dialogue in you all, but I honor you all for this, and I come to you all for different things. And I want to be able to come to you all, and I want the all kin to be able to come to each other for what it is we bring to the table. Right? If you need, no matter how wonderful I am at sacred dialogue, no matter how much of a master and a guru and an oracle I am, I can't clean your teeth for you like smile therapy can clean your teeth for you. You will have to go to smile therapy for that.
Yeah. And not just cleaning the teeth either.
Just
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, she's been on my mind today too, because of a lot of psychological things that I've been going through regarding teeth, regarding just experiences that I've had from childhood. And I've had a session with her in the past, but I feel like I want to see her in person. That's something that I want, because while I was able to explain to her a lot of the things that I'm concerned about, I want her to look at me before I get into doing like the dental work that I want to do, because I'm a little nervous about the stuff that I want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No one under the sun that I know in my immediate midst. I'm sure there are billions of smile therapy out there, because I want her to find her. I want her to find her dental tribe. So I'm not gonna minimize the power of the infinite in that way and see that there's no one under the sun. But she's ours. In our tribe, she's our dental hygienist, dental guru, teacher, nurturer, witness, mommy, sister. She takes phenomenal care of what we utilize to help the world. If I didn't have a healthy mouth, how could I teach? How could I speak comfortably? How can I show up? How can I kiss?
Yeah.
So she takes care of our kisses and our speakers and our expression boxes. And we give so much thanks to Smile Therapy. So if you're listening to the podcast, we will definitely put that link to share our network. But then there in the point, right? That's the idea, that that we are always online, always turned on, stuck on within our network, and we make our network work for us. It works, it serves us, we serve it, etc. And allowing yourself going more again into the work that you were teaching in the online world, specifically in the virtual world, allowing the networking online resources to work for you and seeing each other as colleagues, and how people refer people to each other for online work within that realm. And that was a powerful thing. And learning more about navigating specific online platforms. You spoke a little bit about that. So that's some of the questions I want to come to you with. Informing each other. So what happened? It's informing each as quality. Oh, right. So, oh, yes. So having within that network as well, just as we just gave a shout out to Smile Therapy, it's because we've allowed ourselves to be witnessed by her. It's because we've allowed ourselves to need her and be her clients, and to be witnessed, allowing her to witness us, and allowing her to manage our vulnerability with our dental health and wellness, and the links between our dental and mental health and wellness, that we can refer her, right? So then it's about the power of referring the right clients to the right professionals, and the right professionals to the right clients, the symbiotic relationship there, and the right companies to each other as well, even on corporate levels, on all stratospheres and levels. So realizing our power in that way is what I was gathering from what you were saying when you were talking about, you're like talking about as employees, you all are sort of outsourcing each other and referring each other for quality and quality workers and quality employers as well. Like you can recommend working for a company because that company has such good ethic and they pay well and they pay on time and these kinds of things that matter.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what I was getting there. And then how's that blender? Is that okay? Is it too loud?
No, it's fine. It's completely fine.
Outsourcing, what I have here now. Give me a second, I lost my eyes there. Then I was gonna ask you about outsourcing, and you specifically spoke to going on Fiverr and outsourcing some support. I was gonna ask you to hire me to write for you and outsource. So I want to talk to you about that privately as well, because I see that there are ways where I could set up my own, but because I want to do it so sporadically and because I'm feeding my way through it, I was like, maybe she can just give me some overflow work to do for her. On writing, on sales, on sex therapy. So yeah, these are things that we will discuss more privately, but I wanted to say that these are some ideas that came to me that are shareable out loud. Then I wrote down the nerve system mastery of honoring being safe and comfortable in your own physical, energetic space, as in reasons to stay home and work from home, is that your nerve system can't stand socializing in abusive spaces, which is the work environment as the world stands today, and giving yourself that power to, that's why we are advocates for working from home, right? Yeah. Allowing yourself to respect your neurological and nerve system and your health, and being able to work from home. Of course, where home is really a place where you can be at home, then home is ideal.
And also where home is not even necessarily where you live. Because if home is not a space where you can be at home, there was a time where home was not a space where I could be at home. And I made a home of the beach. I made a home of the fort at Pigeon Island. I made a home of a lot of places where I would spend my days. So wherever home is, you can work from home.
Because home, especially in Sacred Dialogue, is here, wherever we are, wherever I am. So today in a session, I said, reminding a kin that in the contextual space where nowhere is safe, nowhere is safe.
Okay, I need to write that down.
This, because you're gonna have to extract that one for the IG.
Yes, I will. Check out the time, because that one is that this conversation is going on IG.
We'll also take the numerology of 355. But yeah, so KNOW, where nowhere is safe, nowhere is safe. And where that is right here inside of you. Just the fact that you can say, I don't feel safe, makes you the safest space on earth, makes you the happiest space on earth, because you can trust yourself to say, you see me, let me come out from there.
Yep.
Or I'm not good there, and you're not good there with me, we're not good there together, we are affecting each other, and this needs to change. So I love that you said where home spaces are not safe, Anywhere you can be with your laptop or your phone is a working from home space. On the fort, by the beach, in a library, on the square, on the step
I
outside.
yeah. I want to also add that it's a lot more working from home, working online is a lot more than just the working on your technological devices as well. Because when I was making a home of the beach and stuff at that time, it was me knitting. And I did not only sell my neck pieces locally, I also sold them on Etsy online. So that was also me making money online. But
You see,
in that,
you are the guru of this, miss.
yes.
You. Exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. There you are by the beach, knitting with your finger. Oh, I don't have utensils. I don't have any instruments. I don't. You have your finger. I'm sitting by the beach, knitting, and then I'm gonna put this on Etsy and sell online. So I am working from home and I am working online. Boom, bang. Give it to me. What else? What else? What other hang up? Whatever fear. Bring it. Seriously, no mocking, but bring it.
Yeah.
The door.
Yeah.
We're gonna find you your way. We're gonna help you
Yeah.
realize you know your way. You know your way. You know where,
Yeah.
right? You know
Mhm.
how. You do know how. And we're gonna remind you that you have it. You didn't come to earth just like that.
And know who.
And who? You know everything. You know the who, what, when, where, how, why, what position,
But when
everything.
I say I know who, I mean
Me?
know
Yes.
who. Yeah, know who's doing it. It's you.
Yeah, it's you.
Mhm.
What Bob Marley say? It's you. It's you I'm talking to. Yeah. Oh, I love that. You see why we couldn't do this on the same day?
Yeah.
Yes, Boo, because you deserve this feedback. Thank you so, so much for this. So we continue in. I love that you made the distinction on the podcast about the teaching before, noting that you love sales, but through the compliments of people telling you about your voice and them telling you that it wasn't the sales, it was the voice, it was the essence being transferred. So when we moved into the phone sex and we made the phone sex joke and you saw the patterns of the phone sex joke, you were able to acknowledge those patterns and find your style and create your way with the connection that you were creating for people. You were creating spaces for people to connect to themselves. That's what you were doing. You were creating
Yeah.
spaces, you were creating spaces that allowed people to go, wow, yeah, wow, right? To be able to moan and sigh in a safe way, without any shame, without any guilt, just first of all on the surface, and then of course, deeply and erotically and sensually and all the other ways that we have gone deeper into the work.
Mhm.
I wrote also exposure to all kinds of people, that this work gives you the access. It gives you access to create access. It gives you access to become access and to make linkages from one access point to another. So there's all of that happening, and you were teaching about that. That's what I got from you in what you were saying. Maintaining ownership of your power to choose your clients in all spaces. And you spoke about that, and I really want people to understand. When you come to, even for example, those of you who know, when you come to a sacred dialogue session, I always want to know what your intention is, what you're doing here, why you keep coming, what you get out of it. I don't want anybody a day, a second, moment longer in a secret dialogue session when you're taking up space of somebody else who could really benefit from a secret dialogue session.
Yeah.
So how do we market you? How do we promote you? If you have somebody you love that you know that they can benefit from a secret dialogue session, they will find their way to me. Let them know that I exist upon the planet. While I am existing upon the planet, I'm not going to be here forever. So let them know that I am here and I'm out here. And if they need me and they want me and they're ready to want me and they want to need me and we can make love to each other's power, growth, and progress, then I'm here for that. Other than I'm sacred dialoguing myself 24/7, and I don't have any time for anybody that doesn't know they need me, honor me, respect me, enjoy me, and want me in those kinds of frequency ways. And I mean that on every relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to also say to you that you are going to be here forever. just because, like you said, I mean, the red light is always on. And all of, I just want to acknowledge how much of you is being immortalized every time we do this. And every time you publish it on your online real estate, which is whether it's your website, your YouTube, whatever.
Absolutely.
You're immortalizing those parts of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I absolutely know that. I thank you for reiterating and taking a moment to do it. I definitely only meant the physical aspect of me. That's what I actually specifically meant. And only because, let me go further to say, I do believe in physical immortality. I've chosen to not want to be here anymore, though, as well. I want to explicitly say that. So, but I do, because of that, deserve you reminding me how immortalized I am. And I thank you for that. The red light is always on is one of all kin's most favorite one. It's the one that most of you really are utilizing a lot of. So a lot of you connect on that level, even if you all don't know each other. So, and I want to say that you always have access to me as well. You can always talk to me, whether I am on the physical plane or not. And when I say me, I mean all of us. We can carry each other around as talisman, as amulets, as whatever we want, any representation or embodiment. But that's why I have the also the hashtag I'm with you in the wind, and I'm with you the water that's in the wind. And I'm also just with you anyway. I'm with you. I am you. So you can always talk to me. I talk to all of you all the time. And we spoke a lot about that yesterday, right? I'm there in the epicenter. I'm there on the ocean floor. I'm there in Cerebro, and I am never not there. And you are all never not with me. But I do thank you, especially in the way of you teaching this. Thank you, teacher, for making the connection of online real estate, that is my page, and how valuable it is to create a page, whether you think you're not doing much. Document little things, everyone. Document every little progress, every little thought that is shareable, obviously. Break your self-consent. But if you're doing something and you want to share an idea, or you want to log that you had an idea, and you want to date that you logged that you had an idea, definitely do that, because that is your online real estate, and you're putting yourself out.
And some of it can be private too, because I have on my WordPress blog, I have certain posts that are private, they're password protected, and I only issue the password to the specific people that I have it there for. And it's not for everybody.
As Kin, you all know I do the same thing with for access to our work.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we're teaching. You see, we're even teaching in this. We're always teaching. I wanted you to, again, this is all of this. I mean, we obviously making love to each other in all our ways, but this, I want to reiterate the intention of this call today is that I want to be holding you up and show you how you are a teacher. I really want that. I want to be in there's zero uncertain terms. Certain as the sun rises in the east, I want you to know the power of your divine beast. And horse.
Love it.
Extracting that one as well.
Yes.
We're gonna have to do a hip hop rap together and a chat rap as well, right? So that coming, we have to do the Afi come back. And
yes. Yes. I was actually listening to you singing this morning.
What were you listening to?
I was listening to you sing. It was, oh my, why can't I remember? It was on the same red light is always on hashtag.
On one of those posts. Okay.
Yes.
That's cool. Yay. Thank you, more please. Please listen to me sing. Listen, the happy hex I put on people when you all hear me sing is another level, you know. It's not nothing I do is just like that, you know. Okay.
Yes.
So definitely allow that to play.
Oh yeah. Especially the champion reason happy hex.
Yes.
That's mine.
Big up the sneaky witches and the non-sneaky witches in the world while we're on that little tangent there. All right, where are we in these notes of mine? okay, creating my own entrepreneurial service as a tangent to the connection service being provided. So that was actually an idea I had for you, and an idea I had for us, an idea I had for the kin network, of creating like a sort of a secret dialogue entrepreneurship online work network.
Mm-hmm.
So we can talk about that privately, but that's what some of the things that I was inciting while you were teaching what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Outsourcing again and hiring. So insourcing, outsourcing, to finding different dimensions of yourself to bring to the work, and hiring as in raising each other. And so hiring each other to do work for each other within the internal secret dialogue networks, tapping into each other in that way and creating online spaces for that. But we can brainstorm that together, or each of us doing that within our own portals. So like you creating a whole thing and me creating a whole thing and all of that. People have actually come to me to ask me, can I teach people to teach sacred dialogue? So that, yes, I've seen it as teaching sacred dialogue for you to learn your own self dialogue. But
yeah.
I've been asked to teach it so that people can like almost like to get a certification to teach the secret dialogue in that kind of a way, and like creating a course.
I can see that, and I feel like me as your first client, that is exactly what you have taught me.
Yeah, thank you.
So yes, and it's not exactly the same as sacred dialogue, because of course it's been filtered through me and through specifically what I feel like I have to offer. But it was definitely the catalyst for me.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for saying that. So I'm working through it, and I see it, I receive it, and I'm here for it. And I'm at that stage, it would probably have to be called something else in essence, because of the essential essence of what secret dialogue is. I'd have to create something for it. And I would probably, because of my way of kinship and fractal networks, I would want it to be something that at least 2 or 3 of us create together, so that it becomes a workshopping thing, an in-house collective thing, and that you take it up another tier. So I have the core collective of secret dialogue, and then we create another world around that, so that we are the nucleus. So that's kind of how I've been inciting it, but I'm open. Let's definitely table it of our billions of tables to talk about. Realizing I wanted to do a writing job that offered this amount of money. I was just noting that when you had said that, and how 15 minutes later you got the opportunity to do that because another friend was leaving their space, and you were able to, they were creating that void, and you were able to fill that void. And I'm always telling people who want to leave jobs, I'm always telling them, listen, you're taking up the space of a young person, or a person who's novice or naive to their power. You're taking up their space for them to learn themselves in that specific inclination, position, and alignment. So if you think this has taught you and you've taught the space everything, release the space happily. Last year when COVID was going on and I was doing a part-time job still, at the time, I left it. I called the person whose company it was to tell them I was leaving, and they were so happy that I was leaving, because there was another person who was in desperate need of a job, and if only I wasn't working for them, then they would be able to give that person that job. And they were so happy when they said, oh my God, everything works out. The person just called me begging me for a job, and I told them, oh my God, because I have this person here and I cannot take them out, whatever. But if you are going to go on and be totally self-reliant of secret dialogue and not do any more part-time work, then that opens up a space. And I was like, you see that? And that's what I've been teaching. And I knew that.
Can I share something else with you on that too?
Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about, for one. And their partner, their person was that for me. One of the first online jobs that I had, I referred her. You know what was interesting? I was working the job and I was not happy with them lowering my pay, but I continued working the job. I referred her, got her into the position because she was okay with the pay that they were offering. But then shortly after, remember that was the same job that I called you and I told you I got fired from, and I was so excited because I really could not keep doing that job anymore. But because I was playing the role of their happiness ambassador, literally, they gave me a job within the company as the happiness ambassador. I felt responsible for staying for all those people who were there, but it was like I was staying there, making them happy, but I was not happy. And when it became very obvious to the company that I was not happy, that was literally the conversation that I had with my manager when he told me that it was time for us to part ways. He said, "You're not happy and you're not genuinely happy. It's gonna rub off on the people who are, you're their happiness ambassador. You're making them happy, but you're not happy, and they can tell that you're not happy." So that was a big thing, but I was happy that I was able to get her in. I mean, she has since transitioned from that job and is doing major other work. But that was her foot into the world of working online. And she happens to be the partner to the person who you opened up a space for if I'm thinking of the right person. I don't know if you know who the person is. Yeah, I don't know if you know who the person is, but
it's interesting. And of course, when we talk in our more secret spaces, we can reveal. But I highly doubt that you know that
okay.
It will be very interesting.
Same person. Okay. Well, when I'm able to give you more details, I'll explain.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, I want to just make this little moment and spotlight the confidentiality conversation that we just had, and that people can do it.
Yeah.
Yesterday we did it where you spoke very openly about your clients yesterday, and that can happen. So I want to, in our community, in us pretending that we cannot share things and everything's so uptight, we can share respectfully, because we're sharing an essence and a message. We don't have to violate privacy and confidentiality. So yes, and either way, it's very interesting as well, because I was going to bring up the idea of when you left the job. So it's very funny that both of us are thinking of the same story. I don't think they're the same people. Very interesting to find out if there's a tangent there. That's connectivity for you, right? The thing is, you just never know where people are in that way. So, and you must always be true and kind and be with integrity, because it is integral the way you react to people. Especially with our homeland, St. Lucia is so small. Like, even if it's not them that we're talking about in this moment, it'll be them in the next moment. There's a reason whoever we're thinking about is surfacing for both of us right now.
Yeah, but it's the same idea, whether it's the same people or not. It's just the idea of making space for those who are coming, coming along that path. And in order to do that, you have to continue on your path too. And for me, that was a lesson in being true to myself and knowing that I am the person that will walk away from a job that I'm not happy in. And in that instance, I was holding on so tightly to that job because I felt like I'm a mom, and I'm a girlfriend, and I am a provider. And it's like, I can't just walk away from that job. Like, oh, is that crazy? Like, but I did. I did.
Yes, you did. You did, and you do, and you continue to.
Yeah.
So just to say that it was wonderful that person would think of you in that way at the time and recommend you at the time, that gave you that opening at the time. And that was all because you were in that come to me energy with your body and your dreams and your fulfillment of beyond your roles of mother, provider, girlfriend. You were being a resonant being, and you were in a come to me energy for anything that would fulfill you in that way. Okay. So then I have lots of trusting that you are guided. Just in general, I noted that there's so much trusting that you are guided, that you always know. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? Hiring people from Fiverr, passing on the baton. We spoke about that. I loved when you broke down freedom of location, freedom of choice, freedom of kinds of choices, freedom of time, freedom of job and access to opportunities, trading online, a response to the currencies that were crashing, different kinds of trading that you spoke about, options trading. You give a little bit of what that was versus the swing trading. You actually saying I can definitely teach people what they need to begin trading. Yes, I wanted to note that. I love the little dimensions in each part of those lessons where you were talking about all of that, and just in a way of advocating for online work and what and so someone could listen in and find out who it's for, if it's for them. Right. Talking about investing in stocks, you said I am able to connect people to different resources wherever I'm not able to teach. And I appreciated you saying that, so that they can learn their access. That was very important. Of course, the hashtag pandemic phone sex is the truth. And phone sex really just being, in essence, people need someone to talk to, reiterating that, because sex being connection and magic and alchemy. Yeah. So that's what it is. People want to engage self, capital S, self in self and self with others, and validating that need and amplifying that need, appreciating, honoring, acknowledging, etc. for that need, and making love to the need, right? And the self-intimacy that facilitates that trust of expression. Then when I asked you what was it about money and providence for you, how you really see it, I really appreciated you meeting me there, and we exchanged our own understandings of money, like how we really see money and providence and access and abundance. That was really important for me. And I think you said we really want to be received when we are sharing our needs and we are sharing ourselves. That's what you've learned from a lot of your clients, that people just want to be received, and I appreciate you extracting that. And I told you that it was about connection and inspiration. That was what you were saying. Sorry, that was what you were saying. Your relationship with money was. It was about connection and inspiration. I appreciated you like putting it into those words, into that word sound and power. We spoke about feeling the freedom of the authentic energy, and claiming who I am and showing up for my ownership of my being, for being able to express myself and giving thanks for myself. So that was all in the way of you talking about your relationship with money. And I wanted people to see that and think about what their relationship with money is. Beyond, where did you first meet money? What's your first money story? Where are you with that? Of course, I recommended the book Get Good with Money. I think is that the book that I sent you yesterday?
You sent me the book yesterday?
Yes, I sent you.
Yes. Speak on so many different platforms. I don't know which one you sent it on though. It's
on WhatsApp for sure, but I'm gonna. So it's by Tiffany Alice, and she was the one who said you are your niche, and I was right. Get Good with Money.
Oh yes. You are.
I would recommend that people take her on. She's powerful and wonderful.
They told me the Alish niche, because that's what I know it as, not Get Good with Money.
Exactly. I love it. I wrote down to tell you that you were my first Sacred Dialogue session, and that you were telling me about your first dialogue session, and about saying that I gave you that permission to give yourself permission, and I broke down what permission really means in Sacred Dialogue, like per every mission, that we allow ourselves that access and freedom, and that we know who we can go to remind us of how powerful we are when we're feeling at our lowest. And we're out there in the field on the front line, and we could tap into Charlie's Angels headquarters and just be like, yo, tell me how powerful I am again. Yes, actually, I remember. So that, let's see, finger knitting, how you taught us that at the workshop that you had come to, the Secret Dialogue workshop, where I was doing where I was giving space for entrepreneurs or creatives to show what they were doing, and you came and you presented what you were doing there, and I was really happy to remember. I was happy just to remember that moment, so I wrote it down. I love that you were using your body, and that for the knitting specifically. I think that is a very important tangent to people thinking about tools, access, and instruments. Like You are the instrument of your peace with abundance and erotic peace. So be, yes.
Yes. So that's a huge one for me.
Yes.
I think I mentioned to you yesterday after the Qigong session, where I came to the realization of a new level of comfort with my body as my instrument.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you brought that up, because even with the knitting, the finger knitting, I didn't think of my body as my instrument there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think of it that way.
So you see,
but I have been using my body as an instrument.
I've taken for granted that we already addressed it in this call and not bring it up again, but I felt the need to bring it up again. So I'm glad I trusted that, because you see, that's why it's important to go back and back again. That's why repetition is important, and chanting is important, and that's why parenting is important, and nurturing and repeating yourself is important, and petitioning, like a petitioning and again and again and again to each other to mind again and again and again each other of our power. So I repetition all of you, kin, to remind yourselves of your power per mission. That's what I'm really doing on the planet. And that's what we're doing with each other. So I wanted everybody to tap into using their body in that way to knit their own life. String together, yes.
Knit their own network as well.
To knit network, I love it. Yes, use the power of your magical finger, right? This one, ping, pointing, right, and connecting and pointing with each other, like in the Sistine Chapel, where you have the two fingers pointing at each other. There's a very powerful. So when I meet babies in my life, or people that I know in that way, we always point fingers and touch. Also, ET phone home.
Ah, yes.
Touch me, touch the mic.
Be.
Touch the camera with me. There we go. And if you're at home, definitely put that back and touch our fingers, because it is a powerful thing, I assure you. So always point up for yourself. Always look up and point up. Put your hand up and point up at the sky, and let life draw that lightning rod into your finger. Stand on the earth barefoot, point up at the sky, and something will happen for you. I promise. I guarantee it. So just the idea of being fascinated, right? When talking about money, you want to fall into a way of interest and fascination, right? The essence of fascination. What are the things that are so fascinating to you right now? And so that was very fascinating for people at the time to see you do that. It was like, whoa, what is she doing? She's knitting with her finger. She's making that money literally off of her body with her finger. She's using her body to make money. What? Then one. Right? So just really giving thanks for that. Of course, as well, moving into another segment altogether, you brought up a happy time for you and I reconnecting. Like if we didn't think we were supposed to connect one place, then there was another place, then there was another place. Like life just there putting us together. So girls of a feather, we taught together.
Yeah.
I did some SD sessions there, and you were the teacher at the time. The Girls of a Feather representative at the time, so give thanks for that, and big up Girls of a Feather and the beautiful work.
Yeah.
And substitute teaching at the time and selling the neck pieces, and being at SDRG 52, the 52 weeks of Sacred Dialogue Radical Gentleness, when I was doing those workshops at Harmony Suites.
Yeah. I want to add something too about Girls of a Feather. So, I mean, I've had quite a journey with them, and I somewhat parted ways, when I became a mother. Not parted ways, but I took a step back. That's what I've done, because I'm still very connected to the group, but not taking an active role, even if I'm very open to taking an active role when I'm more active in that space. But it's a huge symbolism for me of the siren as well.
Yeah.
Because, reading about siren mythology, yes, there is that scaled figure, the mermaid, but there's also the element of siren mythology where she was a winged woman.
Yes.
So being Girls of a Feather and being fellow sirens in that way, and I've definitely grown a lot through that group as well. They fostered me in a lot of ways. So yeah, I just wanted to give them a special shout out. and show that we are girls of a feather in a lot of different ways.
Absolutely, absolutely. So much love for them and the work that they are doing and the work that we are doing and the work that we have done and are to do whenever the realignment spins back around
I
again.
want that part cut out, by the way.
That was 100% obvious, and thank you for reacting.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And so yeah, we had such a phenomenal time working with Girls of a Feather at that time together. So much for you and I individually, you and I together, us and the girls together, us and the team together. We had the workshop, the retreat, we had after school program, we had that little moment in time together. We had the walk, the mental walk.
Yeah.
We had such a good season. We had such an important, significant run together there, and that I will always hold.
Yeah.
And I am in touch with one or two of the girls through other circles as well. So that's lifelong as well, which is very powerful. And I give so much thanks to connectivity and the network in that way. And our karmic connections in that way is heavy. You said you started to journal that day for your son, the day we did the SDRG 52 workshop. I love that you said when you were facing what teaching was really taking from you at the time, the energy it was taking from you, you feeling like you had to go visit him and admitting that, because a lot of people don't allow themselves to admit what the energy is taken from. And so that moved me into the insider trading idea that I wanted to talk to you about for Sacred Dialogue. So it's that idea that, you know, in the world out there, insider trading is obviously an illegal tool. But of course, we also live in a world where healthcare in a natural pathway is illegal.
Yeah.
In that way, I would like to remind us that we are always whispered to by life, by universe, by our channels, by our sensitivity, by our cuteness and our essential cuteness to detail, right? Mm-hmm. That we are always told, incited and told how the trade of energy runs and regulates, how to titrate ourselves, dilute ourselves, make ourselves potent, how to shapeshift, to barter, to trade, to engage markets and systems and marketing, how to navigate the rise and falls of the scale. And so allow yourself to enjoy and celebrate your insider trading abilities and access points as you navigate the front lines of your life and the soft, sensual, wonderful spaces of your life, and allow the intel to come to you in that way.
Oh, I love that. I want you to repeat the headline of that highlight again for me, please. Where the beginning, where we started for that particular highlight.
I said facing that teaching was facing what teaching was really taking from me, and the energy for my son, visiting him every time I feel I needed to. That's what I said.
Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I needed to hear.
Okay, all right, cool. And then you went on to say that I just knew I wasn't going to teach teenagers at the school anymore. And then that's when I started doing online work. I took him out of school. So I just really appreciated that as a child, we're in the space where we are children to our parents. That was very validating for the little girl in me to know that there are parents upon the planet who would make those kinds of decisions for their children. That's the kind of decision I would like to know that I make for my own offspring, not just my biological, but also for my work, which is what I have done with Sacred Dialogue, saying that I'm closing the portal because my androgynous child, my androgynous kin child embodied, has shown me that there's so much inside work to do inside the home that I can't open it up to anybody else than other people within our nebulous. And once I get us to a space in our Taurus energy, TORUS, as in metaphysics and sacred dialogue and sacred geometry, once I make sure that the Taurus is pulsating properly to my standard and our kinship standard, then we can open up and create another realm. But for now, we in-house doing some high acceleration fractal work, because I need all of you who are kin to level up on the planes of existence and the planetary embodiment that you are and orbit your wonder and your erotic resolve and your erotic peace, so that you can all embody the teacher, guru, masters that you are, the joy, and you also embody that joy more than you'll ever have before because of the way that the world is shifting. And I need to make sure that I stay at the center to keep your levels on top. So that's the equivalent of me not going out more, stepping more out to work, but I'm staying in my base, in my center base where I am, and I'm churning that energy for all of you all to see what I created space for you to see on the last podcast, for you to see yourself like, oh shit, I can teach this. I want all of you to know that there is something that you can teach. There's something that you are fully, you haven't declared your capacity, your mastery, your capability with it yet. You're still there thinking, you're still learning, and you haven't declared the lesson learned. And I need you all to all declare the lesson learned where it has been learned, because there are so many things we still have to learn, but there are things that we have learned that we haven't all declared that we've learned, and I need all of us to do it. So that's what I'm closing the portal for, so I can get deeper inside and make sure all of you are levels on tilt.
Yeah.
Okay, so almost done.
I have highlights for you though, that I'm just letting you talk though.
Okay.
You know, I wanted to.
1 second. Go ahead, babe, go ahead.
No, I want you to finish your highlights because I'm writing down anything.
I had a 4 o'clock and I asked them to push it to 4:30, and it is 4.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's 4:32 and I have a 5.
So I'm saying let's like I said yesterday, let's draw this out as long as it needs to be, because I think each one is deserving of its own podcast space. We don't want to give people we don't saturate people too much, because we're the ones who are the sirens.
So what I want to do is I want to challenge you to a round of our new favorite game, which is appreciation tennis.
Yes.
So now that you've done those highlights for me, I realized the time a little while back, and that's why I stopped giving active feedback and I was just writing it down. But I have a lot that I want to say about, and I want to give that back to you.
I'm ready to be licked. So I have 2 more points. Let me finish them so we can close this today.
Okay. All right.
We're moving into, so I said that I shared the notion of insider trading, and for us to talk. So we want to do insider trading and insider training. So I'm training kin about the power of insider trading of their energetic selves, how to share and hone their power, how to dance along the spectrums of sensual consent and internal sensual sex therapy as a process of life, and sharing experiences and spaces and memory and experiences and interpretations and patterns and permission settings. Like, these are the little nooks and crannies that we'll be navigating as we move forward for the new day of work that is to be done, because I have been living in 1% of my sexual and sensual power out in the earth, and I'm about to do the whole 99 now. I'm not going to be feeding it spoon feeding. All of this for the last 35 years has been 1%. I'm about to throw the bucket over fully, and I want everybody to be ready, because if you thought I was attractive and wonderful and powerful, that was only 1% of me. I was holding back while I was learning my 1 drop of potency. Now that I have a handle on my potency, I'm about to let it rip so that all of us can let it rip.
Yeah. Speaking of which, at your 1%, this one I just have to give it to you now, since you're ready to be licked. So at your 1%, I will let you know that somebody actually reached out to me. I posted your picture from back in the day when we were mentoring, and somebody reached out to me, like telling me how much of a crush they had on you at that time and how you're such pure positive energy to them. They said you are, if good vibes was a person. So you are the embodiment of good vibes to that person, and they were crushing hard. So I wanted to lick you on their behalf now.
Thank you. I am definitely the embodiment. I'll take that. But if anything, if you listen to the song "Feel It in the One Drop," if "Feel It in the One," if that song was a person, I am that person.
Okay, I'm adding that to the list of songs right now. Here we go.
Feel it in the one drop, we still find time to rock. We feel it, we feel it, we feel it, we feel it. It affects us. And that is from that space we are able to be powerful because we tune in to ourselves. Okay, girl, I have to run like I never run before.
Yes, run like Elaine Thompson, Hera.
Yeah. I love you so much, and I look forward to our One Love next match.
Yes.
All
next
right.
match. We'll schedule the next match because I'm excited to share. But yeah. Bye. Bye.